World football's most prestigious competition of all, the FIFA World Cup, is all set to kick off in Middle East for the first time in history, and Qatar is the host nation for the competition. Probably the most iconic country in the Middle East, Qatar will be gearing up for a month-long carnival when the tournament kicks off in winter for 2022. But hang on, do you know something that makes the upcoming FIFA 2022 one of the most unique World Cups in the history of football? Let's take a closer look at some of the most interesting facts about 2022 World Cup that makes it unique in every way. FIFA runs the World Cup. FIFA stands for Federation International de Football Association. FIFA was founded in 1904 and governs international player football. FIFA has 209 member countries and organizes the World Cup and the Women's World Cup. Preparation for the World Cup begins years beforehand. Though the World Cup occurs every 4 years, qualifying matches often occur up to 2 to 3 years before. With sometimes over 200 countries vying for 32 spots in the finals, it's necessary to play numerous qualifying matches to pare down the teams. The host team gets an automatic spot in the tournament, leaving 31 teams to qualify. Until 2006, the defending champions was guaranteed a tournament spot. Defending champions must now qualify for a place along with everyone else. FIFA's Executive Committee chooses host country. FIFA's Executive Committee currently chooses the host country for the World Cup. The committee then visits those countries who submit the forms and votes to decide which country will be granted the honor. This decision can take place as many as 8 years before the actual tournament. Already Qatar has been chosen as the host country for 2022 World Cup, and the tournament will be jointly hosted by 16 cities in 3 North American countries, Canada, Mexico, and the United States for the 2026 World Cup. First ever Winter World Cup. The 2022 edition of the competition would be the first ever Winter World Cup if considered from the Northern Hemisphere. The World Cup usually takes place in mid-year, but when it came to Qatar, an exception just had to be made. Nestled in the Middle East, Qatar experiences distressingly high temperatures which can go up to as high as 50 degrees Celsius. In such conditions, hosting any type of global event is deemed to be near impossible. Hence, the FIFA World Cup has been moved from its usual summer slot to the winter slot. Fewer number of stadiums. Only 8 stadiums have been lined up by Qatar to host the World Cup, which is the lowest number of venues for the World Cup in recent years. In fact, out of all the 8 venues selected to host the tournament, only 1 got revamped completely, while 7 were newly constructed in the country. In 1978, Argentina hosted the FIFA World Cup with just 6 stadiums, and now Qatar is set to host the competition with only 8 stadiums. Record number of visitors. One of the most interesting facts is the number of visitors who are expected to arrive in the country during the event. As per an estimate, the Qatar FIFA 2022 World Cup may end up receiving a record number of visitors by the time the tournament comes to an end. The reason behind this is easy to grasp. Being one of the finest countries in the Middle East, Qatar's convenient geographic location makes it lie in close proximity to most nations. One of the most commutable countries. Qatar is a small country. It is in fact way smaller than the host of World Cup 2018, Russia. Since the size of the country is so small, commuting from one place to another is not a big hassle. Host cities like Doha, Lusail, Al Wakra, and Al Rayyan are located in close proximity to each other. Hence, moving from one venue to another wouldn't be a big hassle for travelers. Another notable fact is the 2 most remote stadiums of Qatar, Al Bayt and Al Wakra, are just 145 kilometers apart. Air-conditioned stadiums. One of the most important points to note about the host nation for FIFA 2022 is the fact that Qatar receives intensely high temperatures during daytimes. To tackle this issue, Qatar came up with an audacious solution. For the first time ever, a country is set to host the FIFA World Cup in a fully air-conditioned stadium. All the 8 venues in Qatar will be fully air-conditioned providing a comfortable viewing experience to the fans while making the conditions good enough for players to perform on the pitch. The second one in Asia. Not only will Qatar be the first ever Middle Eastern nation to host the FIFA World Cup in 2022, but it will also be the second time when the prestigious competition takes center stage in Asia. The first time it happened was in 2002, when Japan and South Korea co-hosted the FIFA event for the first time in Asia. The most expensive World Cup. Another interesting fact about the upcoming World Cup in Qatar is the amount the host country is spending in preparation for this event. As per estimates, Qatar spent $200 billion on infrastructure projects, which include the construction of stadiums, roads, hotels, and so on. This will make Qatar World Cup one of the most expensive World Cups in history. First ever demountable FIFA World Cup stadium. Ras Abu Abad Stadium, also known as the Stadium 974, is built out of shipping containers which will go on to be completely dismantled once the tournament is over. The objective of this dismantleable stadium is to contribute to overall waste reduction in stadium construction and the components production. A friendly welcome awaits. If you're a traveler who has ever been to Qatar, you know what we are going to talk about. A nation with a population of 2.7 million, Qatar has always been a live testament of friendliness. The people in the country are generally friendly and like to make merry with foreign tourists. In fact, English is the premier language of the country, and it wouldn't be surprising if someone ends up getting a dinner invite to the Qatari house. Hence, once the World Cup kicks off in the country, travelers coming from other countries would be in for a real treat. That's it for this video. Let us know your thoughts about the World Cup in the comments down below. We'll catch you in the next one.